now we have the 2025 Western Conference Finals matchup between the Oklahoma City Thunder and the Minnesota Timberwolves. Get your popcorn ready. We got mid 80s Michael Jordan and Anthony Edwards going up against 0102 Kobe Bean Bryant reincarnation himself. We got the MVP versus the the poster child for YNs. Both teams are evenly matched essentially with their depth and like I said, their star. This is also a narrative that you can kind of spin as well too, where Shea gives Alexander, obviously he's Canadian, but he's MVP and him and Ant are going to be battling low key to see who is the face of the league with Jason Tatum out of the picture at the moment, as well too. So in the regular season, it looks like the Wolves tied the series with OKC 2-2. And the last time they played, um, I think, well, in those 4 games they played, Randall only played 1 game, and Ant kind of struggled against them from a shooting perspective while Shea got off. So Shea averaged 35.7 rebounds, 6.8 assists in 4 games against the Timberwolves, and Anthony Edwards only averaged 22 points, but he rebounded the ball well with 9 rebounds and had 6 assists as well too in those 4 games. Also, Dante DiVincenzo missed as well too. So, like I said, both teams are great defensively. Um, I think this season OKC led the league with defensive rating of 101.6 in the playoffs, and at least in the regular season, they forced in the 2 wins that they had against the Minnesota Timberwolves, they forced 37 turnovers, which converted them to 51 points. So you definitely, from that standpoint, with Minnesota, you have to take care of the ball. And I think part of that kind of plays into Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo not playing as well too. Obviously, Mike Conley's a little bit older, but I felt like in those games, and I'm going to have to rewatch. They probably blitzed Anthony Edwards and showed him multiple bodies. But one of the reasons why I also like this trade with that Minnesota made for Julius Randle for Karl Anthony Towns was, as great as Cat is, I just feel like Julius Randle has the same productivity from an offensive standpoint and points production. But more he can take that pressure off of Anthony Edwards to help distribute and play make for him as well too. And like I said, Dante DiVincenzo is another guy that adds that element of bringing the ball up the court and setting up that offense as well too. So I think they're going to do a better job at taking care of the ball, as well too. With Julius Randle, he's been balling, man. Damn near averaging 24, like 5 and 6 this series, shooting at a high clip, shooting well from three. I will say with the Lakers, Bron basically had to play the five. Jackson Hayes barely got minutes. So Julius Randle was able to exploit that. Um, Draymond Green's really only 6'5", 6'6". Loney's, no one really thinks of fear as far as rim protection. So he had favorable matchups. Absolutely. And with Chet and Hartenstein being that front line, I'm curious to see if Julius Randle can maintain that aggressiveness on the offensive end and still be a top tier defender. He's been looking pretty good as well too. So it's gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. So keys, I think, is gonna be that turnover battle. Um, Oklahoma City's ability to just force turnovers could disrupt Minnesota's offense, but you can say that star. I mean, you can say that vice versa. Um, and the stars got to show out, man. Sometimes Anthony Edwards likes to fall in love with that three. He can be a little bit streaky, um, but he has to match Shea's output. He has to match Shea's output. I know Shea gonna give me 30 damn near every game and be up and down sometimes. Um, I feel like I said, the depth could be a deciding factor. Minnesota's bench has been productive, but OKC's defensive-minded reserves could swing that momentum, especially with Alex Caruso coming in that game, and then the pace and tempo. Um, controlling the game's pace will be crucial. And the Thunder may look to speed up the game just a bit, while the Timberwolves prefer more of a deliberate approach. And coaching, obviously, Coach Finch definitely didn't do the best when they lost to the Dallas Mavericks last year. And we can nitpick at all that as well, too. But it seems like he's improved a lot more this year. So it's going to be an interesting series. I think it's really just going to come down to I know Jalen Williams was kind of up and down this past series, and honestly, Minnesota's a better defensive team. So I think he's learned a lot within these past 2 weeks with this 7 game series. Um, but they got bodies, man. They got bodies. They probably gonna put. I probably put McDaniel's on Shea, Anthony Edwards on J Dub, Mike Conley on Lou Dort, Randall on Chet, and Gobert on Hartenstein. And I think Gobert is actually going to have a great series as well too. Just having the ability to stay in the game because they play with the big, really making it hard for them because Jalen Williams, that quick first step he has, pays Shea's uh, change of pace he has to get to the basket. I think we're going to see a lot from from Rudy Gobert this series as well too. So I expect him to have a double double and play at least 35 minutes a night. But yeah, it's gonna come down to the bench. Which bench is gonna show up and who's gonna be that team to take care of home court. Um, I love both superstars. And I like what the front office has done. I like it a lot too. Um, I might have to go with I think OKC's been more battle tested this past second round, beating a championship caliber team. So I got OKC in 7 games, and I got the New York Knicks going against Oklahoma City Thunder in this year's 2025 NBA Finals.